karibuni sana this YouTube channel. We want to appreciate you and say thank you for watching, for subscribing, for sharing. Tunasema ni asante. And the last time we met, we had a very interesting topic about the youth. Na tukawauliza youth wetu wako wapi. We talked about the challenges that the youth have been facing, what the youth are supposed to be doing, and that is the biggest question today. Mayouth wetu tunasema mko home, tuko home tukifanya nini? Manze shule, wenye wako shule lazima to repeat for another year. So what are we doing? Because maybe kuna when you are relaxed you are vitabu. What are we doing? And that's why I still have pastors on board. Ndio watueleze what you're supposed to be doing. Tukianza sawa. Tunaanzia pale. We have Reverend Nene, our host Reverend Josephine, Reverend Wangoto, and Reverend Julia. Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
So tuanzie pale. Okay. Salimie.
Viewers, my name is Nene. I am a minister in the Methodist Church in Kenya. My current assignment is to work with the youth and the children in Nairobi Synod, and I'm happy to be here this day to continue with where we left off. Asante.
Karibu sana. Our host.
Yes. Hi viewers, we salute you once again and welcome to our discussion for the day. Most welcome and thank you for your responses, your comments. We appreciate. Let's work together once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and you're most welcome again to our discussion as we continue asking ourselves what are the youth doing at home and what they should be doing.
Okay.
My name is Josephat Wagoto, Minister of the Anglican Church and Chaplain of Starehe Boys Center.
Thank you.
Karibuni sana.
Thank you too. My name is Maura Jehia, and I'm glad to be here today to continue with the discussion regarding the young people. I serve with the Presbyterian Church of East Africa in Barcelona.
Karibuni sana. Did I say my name? Sebo wako karibu. So the question is, what are our youth doing at home? We definitely know they are at home. So wakiwa nyumbani wanafanya nini? And what should they be doing?
Our youth are at home, and one of the things I know they're doing at home is watching a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Many of the young people, in a nice way, have become nocturnal beings. So, wanaamka saa sita, mwingine anaamka saa 8. Why? Because they slept at 6 in the morning. Why did you sleep at 6 in the morning?
Watch movie.
Because nilikuwa nina watch movie. Kuna series imebamba sana. We're chatting with my friends the whole night. And yeah, basically that is one of the things we are doing. And especially now that for many schools, school is not serious anymore. We've extended holiday back in January. So a lot of them are spending time in that space, in the virtual space, and watching a lot of movies.
Okay. Well, Rev, unafikiria mayouth wetu wanafanya nini? What are they supposed to be doing?
Okay, I know there are some, as she says, there are some who are spending their time in the virtual world doing their own things. But I know there is a big number that are engaging through Zoom classes.
Yeah.
And apart from that, I'm sure there are others who are able to do other home chores, helping around. But we can all agree that there are some who are just lost. Yes, they are home, but they are lost in their own world.
Yeah.
Like you meet with some, you ask them, what have you been doing since March? They have nothing to say. And so somehow some are just confused. Others have been able to chart their way, are waiting. I know there are some who are going through the disappointments, especially those who are candidates, Form 4 and Class 8, and they are feeling like, wow, now again, you have to repeat another year. So there are those who are nursing their disappointments at home.
Yeah.
Some are talking, others are just quiet.
Okay. And actually the biggest percentage ni wenye they are heartbroken, you know, and they still want to kama saa hii venye wako heartbroken wanatry vitu zingine mpya like si nitarudia tu.
Yeah.
So vitabu I know hata jua mahali ziko kirudi shule.
Yeah.
You know, how are they supposed to overcome that?
Before I actually talk about how they are supposed to overcome, it's also good to be very blunt and serious and hit the nail on the head. That there are many of them in crime. There are many of them in sexual immorality.
Oh yes.
a lot of them. And we were telling one another that there could be others in the village who are busy, maybe picking tea, maybe preparing their coffee for harvest in the later part of the year, and all those other things. Someone was saying this week we had a discussion, and someone was saying, Wawishago wanakatia ng'ombe nyasi, wa town
Matao.
wanakatiana.
That's a good one. It is true.
It's good to accept those realities.
Yes.
Sometimes we bury our heads in the sand and we forget that there's a lot of damage happening among our youth. We should be able to accept some of those realities. But as you ask, how can they overcome the disappointment, the frustration, the boredom, and all that? And it said an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So when the mind is engaged, you have no time to get involved in crime, to think about sex, to think about those other things. They should be engaged in some productive activities. If they are in the farm, they can find some things to do in the farm. If they are here in town, there are still activities to be done. People can have like some kitchen garden around their houses. They can have some activities together. Young people can come together and do some activities. We also have like the Kazi kwa Mtaa, the government project.
Yeah.
Those who can, or those who are within the bracket for such kind of jobs, they can get involved in such activities. So it is not good to stay at home doing nothing. Find something that you can do.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, I keep thinking like, their parents who lost their jobs. You know, kama wazazi wameboekea nyumbani, you are like, I'm bored to stay at home. What about watoto? You know, kama mzazi yenyewe unakaa unalala unaboeka.
Thank you, Wahu. Hakuna kitu I know that is boring kwa hao vijana, the young people, kuliko kuambiwa you are home indefinitely. And you've not achieved what you set out to achieve. Hata kama ulikuwa unasukumwa na mzazi, ama kama ulikuwa you want to do it, haujafika pale ulikuwa unataka kufika. So most of them for sure are bored. And that is why they are trying to look for things to do here and there, kama vile wenzangu wamesema. Some of those things may not be good, but others are engaging in productive activities. But there is always something, and that's what I believe. There is always something that is of interest to someone. You may be talented in a particular area. You can be a talented musician, for example. Ama mtu wa kucheza guitar, like someone I saw ako tu nyumbani yeye. In school, they are not in school, but learning to play the guitar.
Okay.
So there's a talent that you can sharpen at this time. Instead of being bored, there's that thing. Wacha ile ya shule sasa, kuna kitu you have in you, a talent that you have in you. Try to sharpen it.
Okay.
A time will come when you will need it. Na itakusaidia sana. So there's no room for being bored.
Okay.
Just look at what you love doing.
Okay.
Then do it this time and sharpen yourself in it.
Wow.
And I think it is good to mention,
Yes.
as he talks about sharpening, I've come across some young people who are doing cookery, and they are doing very nice recipes. And actually the other day I was challenging some of them to make sure they are taking some photos and just let their friends know what they are doing. So I know there are some who have taken this time to sharpen their talents and their areas of calling and interest.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
now
a very
the
good
biggest
one.
question is, at least when you are making recipes, you need unga, kama ni chakula unapika. Now the question is, mzazi, are the parents there for their children? Ati, your kid wants to make a new recipe, will you provide that unga? They want to learn how to play guitar. Will you part your 2,000 shillings to pay for him or her guitar classes?
Yes and no, because like we mentioned in the last recording, there are parents who are still working from work, And we have to appreciate that in the nature of what we do, they cannot do anything else. Imagine, for instance, if you work for a corporation and you're an IT expert, you're the one who is maintaining these systems. You have to work from home, right? But then there are those who are working from home, and there are those, like you rightfully say, who were either laid off or something happened. Being there for the children is not necessarily like, cast in stone like 100%, like tuko pamoja tumebanana kama orbit. But I have seen parents who create quality time. You're working from work, even pre-COVID, but you create quality time to hang out with your children. Because for children of all ages, love is not spelled Love. Love is spelled Time, time. Right?
Okay.
So you may be at home, yes, because either you're working from home or probably you even lost a job or you lost a business. But are you there totally emotionally for them? For example, you're raising teenagers. Teenagers are very demanding. You're the group that Josephine is talking about. They're trying recipes or they're trying doing guitar and all that. But the quality time you spend with them is what they will remember you for. Hata kama unakuanga home tu huko tu kuanzia asubuhi mpaka jioni, but you're a busy body in the house, they will never recall that. But even if you're working from work and you're there with them, spend some quality time, hold conversations with them, then it will be possible for them to say, there's something I remember my dad before during COVID times that kuna zile story tulikuwa tunabonga na mzazi hizi sikia tena. Kuna zile tulikuwa nafanya na baadhi.
Alipiga presence ya mzazi akiwa home. Yeah.
That time ni vile tu iwezi kurudiwa tena kwa sababu ilikuwa ni wakati wa ugonjwa, but that was a time we spent quality time.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is what is really important.
Okay. Rev, I wish you can talk to the parents because I believe something in them, maybe the youth ama ule mtoto anatuwatch hata kuwa na ile idea anaweza kuwa anafanya, but itakuwa the parent apatie huyu mtoto idea. My daughter, my son, you can do this and this. Are the parents giving their children ideas of what they can do? Ama wako tu pale nyumbani stressed na COVID hana rent na ukutana na mtoto unamgonga na kwa
Yeah. Okay, to parents, maybe what we can say is that in one way or the other, every parent know their children. Like I understand my children, you understand yours, and we know how we work together. In this case, I'm trying to say, just be real, be normal, be simple, and be easy. Because what happened, I'm sure we can all agree that when this pandemic befell us, some people got into a shock, a real shock. But by and by, we've come to a point of realizing, in as much as I jump up and about and there are no miracles happening around, I have to address my issues the way they are. So your children as a mother, as a father, deal with them in a very normal way. Just be calm, be easy. If you cannot afford that hunger, don't feel as if you are a failure. Let them understand, okay, I hear you want to do mandazis, I hear you want to learn guitar, but for now I'm not able to pay for you, but I'm thinking about it. You can always get an alternative. And again, we all know our children, how talented they are. Like, for example, there are some young ones, Form 1, Form 2s, who will come to you and they tell you, oh, I'm very good in drawing. If you cannot afford unga and mafuta for mandazis, you can buy a chart for them to color and draw. So parents, just be simple, show what you can afford. If you cannot afford, just be simple and easy, and your children will understand you. Good thing is that this season they are not visiting one another. Watu wana ile ministra ya kukompeana, hakuna mtu akae kwao. Ukiambiwa iko usikie, ukiambiwa hakuna usikie. Na wazazi mimi nasema tu, just be real. Ukwe tu simple, normal. Wacha watu wako wakuelewe. But challenge ni kwamba kama hujawahi kuwa real na ukuagi simple, una job yako.
The reason as I asked that, Reverend Wangoto, unapata watoto wengi wako stressed. Wako stressed kwa nini? Juu pia mzazi ako stressed. Hajaweza kujicontrol, so hata anga management shida. Huyo mtoto ako depressed sababu mom vile anaongea kwa hiyo nyumba, vile dada na react, hata una hiyo space ya kujiexpress kwa mzazi, mwambie this is what I want to do, utanisaidia aje.
Part of the most stressing thing is that dad could be too available. You're not used to, you're not used to dad being here every other now and then, always seeing mistakes now, here, you know,
Yeah.
he's too available. And that can be a source of stress. But you can make your presence to be pleasant,
Yeah.
so that you're not seen as this foreign or alien person who has just visited our home and we don't know how to handle that person. And there are so many sources of stress and depression during this time. And for you as a parent, it's good to be able to identify what is stressing my children, what is stressing my young people. Part of them is like those unfulfilled goals that like Reverend Josephine was talking about. Someone was just waiting to finish Form 4, go learn to drive, go do computer thing, go join university, and all that. That has been postponed for 1 more year. You remember how excited we used to be in the final year of Form 4. You're like, freedom is coming.
Yeah.
We're going to become citizens, right? All that has been postponed for 1 more year. 1 more year. So that can
Or
be,
more.
yeah, and or more because it's indefinite.
Yeah.
So all those things that can pile a lot of pressure on the kids as well as the parents. And like Reverend Josephine has also said, all children are gifted differently. No one is gifted in the same way. Have you seen how people have flooded TikTok, recording things and posting them? You know, those are talents. Just expressing yourself. Sometimes it's doing somebody's song, and I saw some challenges of. There's one that was done by Shirwa GP. I hope you know Shirwa GP. And there's a song she had, Mwaki, you know that song. So, and there was all competition around that. Actually, surprisingly, much of it was not done by the youth. It was done by our mamas.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. But just avail your phone to your son, to your daughter, for them to be able to record such a thing. And then when it is posted, it brings a lot of excitement and they feel good about it.
Yes.
So look at how gifted are they. I've seen around where I live, every morning, around the Israel area, you'll see so many, this Muslim community, the Somali, coming every morning to do exercises. You'll find them along the road doing a lot of exercises, and it's a whole community. You'd even wonder what's happening. And there are people who have organized themselves into groups. They go do those aerobics, they go do activities, as long as you stay safe. But make sure you have something to do. The only reason people get stressed is when the mind is not occupied. When you have nothing that is engaging your mind. Sometimes when you're so busy, you remember your stressors after you finish your work. Ukishamaliza by the way, I didn't have this, I didn't have that, or somebody hurt me. Because you have been so busy, you engaged your mind doing something. So to deal with those stresses, ensure that children have activities that they can get involved in, young people have activities they can get involved in, and also give them some assurances. Because for them, they can only see as far as a few meters. But you as a parent can see beyond that. You can help them to see that this situation is temporary. COVID will not be there forever. We shall go back to our normal lives. We shall be able to visit our friends and relatives the way we used to do. For now, let us concentrate on a few things that we are doing here and there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Rebecca here, allow me to ask you this. There is a clip that I was watching that I hit me so hard. Like, it's a mtoto fulani, an 8-year-old kid, akielezea the way she was molested by the parent, by the father. And we can't assume that these things are not happening to our youths, na maybe wengine maybe wanatutazama. You know, sahi hakuna kanisa tutaenda uambie mwalimu wa church wa Sunday school vile kulienda, hakuna kuenda kwa neighbor. How will they speak out whatever they are facing, ama zile challenges, the innermost challenges wanapitia?
It's true that before I talk about the challenges that they're going through, probably something else I want to add to what you said on parenting is we cannot afford to be passive parents at this time. We have to get involved with what the children are interested in. Get to know what they're interested in. There's something Reverend Johnson said about the children, and you know your children. But you may find a parent who does not know what is the interest of
Of
his
their children.
That is a very serious thing, and we need to be involved in what interests those children. Once we show interest in it, they are going to grow in it, and they are going to be better in it. So it is very important to be involved and not to be passive. On the challenges they're going through, it's true. Actually, during this time, we've had a lot of cases of child molestation, and it's a serious thing because unajua mtoto anaambiwa ukisema itakuua.
Itakuua.
That is the main line. Ukisema itakuua. So apart from the action, this child lives in fear.
Yeah.
And I think for most children, if I look at sexual molestation, because the main thing is for the male gender against the female gender, I think it's very good also for children to be very close to their mothers. They can be able to open up. Even when they have been told not to open up, they can be able to tell their mother this, and this thing. They also, young boys who are also going through molestation in the household and even relatives. That's why we need to build this closeness, the parent-child relationship. And in this case, where the father is involved, the mother. Where an outsider is involved, both parents have to be very close to their children, so that children feel free to open up. And we also need to empower our children, because they are helplines. There's a child helpline that this child, hata kama hata haongei na mtu anaona, can be able to call. I don't know, is it 116? So there's a toll-free number.
Okay.
They can call and they can get assistance,
Yeah, sure.
even if they're not leaving the house.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Reverend Nene, as the youth minister, what are you doing? Are you trying to reach the youth? At least tujue kama kuna shida wanapitia kama hizi na hawawezi kuongea. What are you doing?
I have been trying to find out where the youth are, literally by asking them. And I took it upon myself to literally, like, the ones I know would open up to me, and I call them and just have a conversation and find out what exactly is happening to the young people. Because they seem to have retreated to a place where we are not able to get through to them. Physically tunawaona,
Yes.
but we are not able to get through to them because, like we said the last time, churches are busy doing recordings of services and activities, but the youth are not watching. You call them for a Zoom meeting and wanatokezea wawili watatu, wala wa kawaida tu. Unaona madai hata tukitana saa 6 lazima wanatokezea.
Yeah.
Hao. What are we doing, or what am I doing? One is, like I said, I have been trying to find out where they are. And the truth be told is our young people have retreated to a place where we have to be very conscious. Just the same way, like Reverend Jekyll mentioned, it is for us who are older than the young people. You see, that's a paradox with young people. It is for you and me who are older than them, who have done life longer, who are able to look at them and say, so and so, you're looking stressed today, what's the problem? Because if you wait for them to come up and tell you, kasi niko na shida fulani, unless ni yeye atema na kuitisha. Ama pengine, you could also have an older youth who doesn't have rent. Akupikia kuambia Reverend Josephine, I haven't eaten for 2 days and my rent is due na nafungiwa nyumba. That kind of need they will reach out. But the rest of the other needs, it is for us to kujuliao to calm down.
Okay.
Now, the principle is the same. If you have been close to your young people, there is a way you reach out to them. Kuna vile ataongea, unasikia huyu mtu anahitaji oxygen. Just like the children.
Hako sawa.
Unasikia huyu mtu hako
Yeah.
sawa. There's a way you look at them and you know this person is like, because there's a book I I was reading on youth ministry, and the writer of this book calls it The World Beneath. And the illustration she uses is to say, if you're a father, for example, or if you're a youth pastor, whoever it is, a guardian of a young person,
Yes.
they will not let you in. Lazima ukuwe na gate pass. Hiyo password inakuanga ngumu, you have to earn it. So they say you have to bring yourself to their level.
Yeah.
Sit at, just
Ndio
visualize,
muelewane.
just visualize with me.
Yes.
Sit with them at the doorstep. Si hujaingia ndani, hujaambiwa karibu kiti. At the doorstep,
Yes.
mketi hapo kwanza, ndio mjuliane hali kwanza, ndio anakupima akina naona wangu anakaa kama kuingiwa ndani.
Ama la.
Judgmental sana.
I know.
Yes. So
Yes.
for myself and for those who are, whether as a parent or as a guardian or as a pastor, it is for you and I to go to them and reach out to them and find out what is going on, because they're not necessarily doing anything wrong. By watching movies the whole night, it doesn't mean they're doing anything wrong. By chatting with their friends the whole night, I wouldn't say it is essentially wrong, because kama town sina ng'ombe ukatia matawi na nyumba ataosha in half an hour.
Yeah.
What else is she going to do with? Sitaki wakati yake. You get?
Yeah.
So we also have to allow them within their space to do things which are familiar to them, so long as it's not harmful to them.
Okay.
Because I know there are parents who are saying, wako nisikusikia ukiongea usiku.
Yes.
Sasa usiponisikia nikiongea usiku na mchana hauko nisikie nikiongea,
Yes.
unataka nifanye nini? Okay, so long as it's within safe space, personally I wouldn't mind. Let them watch movies, good movies the whole night. Let them chat with their friends, as long as it's a friendly chat. And ukiongea nao vizuri, you'll find out yule best yake anakuanga naye chat. Kelele tu za wasichana ama young men, and there's nothing wrong with that. So let's reach out to them in a very friendly, with an open mind, and hear them out.
Wow.
We discover very many things about these kids.
Wow. And na tunapatanga, it's very unfortunate that once umerealize mtoto anafanya hivi ama you try reaching out to them, unapata anafanya kitu fulani, instead of talking to that particular kid nicely, telling them this is not the way, wengine unashautiwa, utapatana na kofi, how should you handle your children once you reach out na unapata na vitu wanafanya that are not good?
Reaching out to them ama kuwasaidia go towards a different direction, inategemea vile mmekuwa mkitembea. And I think this is where we tell parents, if you want to correct na unajua maybe tempers zako ziko juu,
Yes.
jaribu sana vile utaweza uaddress hiyo issue kama uko sawa sawa.
Okay.
And helping our children, okay, we all react differently. Kwa sababu kuna vile mzazi ataona hii kitu inafanyika, nimediscover, unakuta amejam.
Kuna wengine ni excess.
I hear you. I hear you very well. Ninakubali hiyo, na ndio ninasema inategemea kule mlitoka. Si ati hasira zimekuja tu time ya COVID ama zimekuweko. So kuna watoi hiyo yenye wewe unaona ni extra ama ni excess, walishazoea cause kule wametoka imekuwa hivyo tu.
Wamekuzoea, lakini kuna vitu mingi sana wanakuficha.
Yes, lakini anyway as a minister I would say sio vizuri tena kufanya mambo yote kwa hasira. It's good to make sure that at least you are moderate, you are able to talk to your children and weigh a situation at a time.
Yes.
Usileta mambo 15 pamoja ati hii na hata washasahau by the time you are on the third one. So handle things one issue at a time and without tempers, and you'll be able to help your children. Good thing is that as a parent you were once where they are. Yes. So kuna vile tu bado mtu ujirudisha pale. Kuna vile tu. Na by the way before nitoke hapo because I think the direction mostly is on parents. There's this wave yenye right now ina blow, inaonyesha wazazi ni kama nao mmezoea watoi kwa shule, sasa wako home, tunagojea kuona. I want to tell you parents, haulelei watoto wako mtu. The only key being who is in charge of your family and your children is God. Wacha kujitungumania. Kuna kitu kama hiyo. Kujitungumania ati ndio ati ndio uandu hiyo saying.
Eh.
Mimi ninakuwa worried sana kila wakati when you switch on into the radio, unasikia ni kama wazazi wanathreateniwa. I want to encourage you parents, we are not under any threat. Hii story inaitwa nini? COVID-19. Si wewe ulileta na si mimi, mwenye alikubali ikuje ni Mungu.
Yes.
Just be simple. Usisikize hizo mawinds.
Yeah. Cheza kaa wewe.
Yes, katu. Walimu vile sasa watoto hawako huko shule, msiwekwe pressure na mtu.
Yes.
Relax.
Nice.
Allow me just to add something before you go.
Okay.
I like what you have said about be yourself. Sawa sawa. Haulelei mtoto mtu. There is also something which I have seen crop up in the urban setting. Tulisahau ya kwamba mtoto si wa mtu mmoja. Mtoto ni wa jamii.
Yeah.
So unaweza kuta mzazi kwa sababu yeye ni mzee wa kanisa for example na wazee wa kanisa mnisamehe, lakini this is also feedback I'm giving you from your own children.
Yes.
Unakuta mzazi for example ameng'ang'ana okay, hang'ang'ani sana kusaidia mtoto, ni heshima yake mwenyewe anashinda. It doesn't help. I always tell people there's a reason why ukijaribu kufundisha mtoto wako sasa anakwambia kichaji sana.
Yes.
There's always an alternative voice. Seek that alternative voice because if you bring me your child as a pastor for example, probably kuna vile tutaongea na yeye, I will still say the same thing you say. Kama ni indiscipline, I will still say indiscipline ni indiscipline. Sasa,
Yes.
I will not sugarcoat it, but because ni mimi nimesema in a different way, atasikia by the way, kama
Kuna vile-
nasema ni kweli, kuna vile nakoseanga baadhi ya shida.
Yeah.
Alafu mwenyewe anajirudisha
Chini.
So, I would want to appeal to parents. Kama umeongelesha mtoto wako sana au unasema ni sugu, because pia kuna ile sauti kwa unaongea nao anasema ameanza. I mean we were also there.
Shazoea.
Ndio huyo ameanza tena. Don't use unnecessary force.
Yes.
Chukua mtoto pelekea Reverend Jeje, mwambie huyu kijana yangu, ongea naye kama mwanaume, sijui mnangurumanga aje. Nguruma tu kama vile mnangurumanga. Atakusikia. Ama chukua upelekee Reverend Wangoto, mwambie chaplain. Hii mama ya high school pengine kuna lugha sielewi. Ongea naye and you're brought back your kid being very okay. And that is pre-COVID, in COVID and post-COVID. Mtoto ni wa jamii mzima. Unaendelea kufunika uchi wako, lakini akifika mbele atakuanua.
Aicha. Reverend Wangoto, I asked you this question last time and I'll still ask it again. Maboys wako wako wapi? Umetry kufuata chenye wanafanya?
And like I told you last time, it's a hard question to answer. Because from the school, I believe they're at home. But all homes are different. They are as different as the number of homes. Some homes are accommodative, others are not accommodative. So physically they could be at home, but psychologically they could be elsewhere.
Yeah.
Emotionally they could be elsewhere. In all manner of ways they could be in different places. So ours is being able to trace them from all aspects, from a spiritual point, from economical point, from all these aspects. And remember again, the issues, the challenges of the primary school kids is not the same challenges of the high school and the colleges and universities.
Yeah.
All of them are going through different challenges. And therefore, as we reach out to them, we have to look at the peculiarity of their own situation.
Okay.
As my colleagues have also said, you know, it is said when your only tool is a hammer, you tend to see every problem to be a nail. So kila kitu, because when you don't uko nayo. But as a parent, as a pastor, as all members of the society, we have to have different methods of solving problems.
Okay.
If two children were brought to me, both of them have stolen and not handle them in the same way. One could be stealing because they are just trying to catch attention,
Yes.
not because they are lacking. Another one could be stealing because they are lacking.
Yeah.
So you cannot deal with them the same
Same
way.
way.
You deal with them depending on their own situation.
Okay.
There's a story I was told about a parent who was dealing with a girl who was used to drink.
Mm.
And one day, he decided, I'm not going to talk badly to you. I'm not going to shout at you. I'm going to treat you differently. So he organized for a family dinner. And everybody was invited on the table. Every meal was available.
Mhm.
But there was one bottle of beer. He told the daughter, my daughter, that's yours. Everybody else is free to take whatever it is.
Yeah.
Lakini ni yako.
Hiyo ni yako.
Mhm.
From that day, that girl never drank again. How do you handle the situation of your father bought you beer, and in a family gathering, nabiwa,
Yeah.
you love drinking,
Yes.
that's yours. And that girl stopped drinking. If it was us, you beat her up, you lock her in the house, you didn't hire her money,
Yeah.
you shut her from her friends, you know,
From her
and
house.
endless counseling sessions.
Yeah.
You see? But there are different approaches of dealing with different issues.
Wow.
So as we ask ourselves, where are the youth?
Mhm.
It's not easy saying they're at home. That is an obvious answer, but the homes are different. Circumstances are different. Do you know there are people who are making capital from COVID?
Mhm.
They would wish it continued.
Yeah.
There are people who they've made good money, they have made breakthroughs, they have made progress, they have begun projects,
Yes.
and they're like, wow, I think I've made a lot of progress from COVID. To others, it's a nightmare. It's this thing. When shall this thing ever come to an end? So different people have different circumstances.
Okay, na tukimalizia Reverend Joshua, kwa vile tunaona kama kinaumana unasikia hii siku we have 636 maybe positive cases, unaona kuna vile tu kunaenda kama hakuna hope, you know, and now that you passed us, what do you think ni kitu gani the church can do at least to create a conducive environment for the youth who are still at home?
It's a tough question. I think there's to an extent, there's what the church can do. There's what the church cannot do. Because we are all under one umbrella of the government regulating what is being done and what is not being done. And earlier there was mention that you can try to reach to these youths online, the young people online, but not all of them will vote. So we've been given, like the church, we've been given the 1 hour service, but there's no limitation to the number of services. So we can start opening up and having these youth come to church.
Wow.
That engagement is very important. We can have a morning service that takes care of the youth, where they can come and express themselves, they can be able to meet one another while observing the guidelines that have been given. I think slowly by slowly it will help them to start seeing like things are normalizing, that like things are getting back to normal. And they will be looking forward to the next Sunday because they met so and so, they were able to hear the word of God.
Yeah.
Some of the things that they are harboring in their hearts, probably they don't want to tell anybody. But when someone speaks, they hear that word must be mine. That has answered the question that I had. They would not have had that answer when they were at home. So I think as we open up, we can try to open up that space and ensure that we have services that capture the young people,
Okay.
specifically the young people, not mix them with others.
Yeah.
Let it be for the young
Young
people.
people.
And that will be able to start opening up and allowing them now to have a ventilation with the issues probably that have piled up and they were locked at home.
Right. That's a good one. So, Reverend Nene, tukimalizia, what's your last message to the youth?
I want to tell the young people that one, they're not alone. It may sound cliche, but it is true. God is with you. And don't look at yourself like as though you don't merit, or like you're not worthy, either because you're having to rewind a year of school, or something you think was going on in your life and you think now again kama imeisha. To the young people, tunawapenda. As your parents, we love you. As the church leaders, we love you. As your pastors, we love you. Should you have an issue that you feel is really burning and you feel needs to be addressed, don't sit on it. Come out, talk to your pastor, reach out to your school teacher, reach out to your parents, reach out to an auntie. Just don't sit alone, because the more you sit alone, the more you get depressed. Na hii kitu vijana tunaitanga boredom, people wanasema sielewi. You have 24 hours in a day in which you can do a lot of things na hiyo masaa isitoshe. Find something new that you can do.
Okay.
Asante.
Thank you so much. Rabbi Josephine, what's your last message to the youth and maybe to the parents?
My last message to the youth is that the Lord is with you, and whatever situation you are in, God knows you, He loves you. And we are here to work together. Feel free to reach out to us, and the Lord will help you. Just make sure that you are positive in whatever issue that you are facing. Be positive and spend time praying. Parents, continue praying, trust God, reach out to us. Let's work together. There is still hope in the Lord. God bless you.
Bless you too. Rabbi Dombeto, my
Yes.
boys, unaambia nini?
To the boys, I'll tell you, keep yourself busy. Don't let this season to pass away without you achieving something. Look for a project, plant trees, go do some dance, make some songs, use your talents and be able to discover yourself. And to all members of the society, tujue kwamba we are staring at a generational crisis, that our youth are out there, sometimes doing a lot of nothing, other times doing a lot of other things, some that are destructive, others that are constructive. We might come out of this situation with another big crisis when our youth have been destroyed either by drugs and substances, either by sexual immoralities, either by violence and crime, either by depression and all those activities. Whoever you are, wherever you are, if you are a parent, if you are a pastor, if you are a member of any organization, please make programs that can reach out to our youth wherever they are before we can start dealing with another big crisis. Thank you and God bless you.
Bless you too. Revenge here. Your last words to the youth and maybe to the dads who feel they are not providing enough for the family due to COVID-19 challenges.
To the young people, this world was there, is there, will continue to be there. Don't try to behave like you want to overthrow the world on your own. Chezea chini.
Cheza chini.
Cheza chini.
Eh,
Don't do things that are going to ruin your future. Set the right foundations for your life. Crises will continue to come and go. In future, if you don't have the right foundation, then you will not be able to stand. Ensure that you enrich yourself in every way that you can enrich yourself. To the young men, wale wana hustle na hustle haingii. To the fathers, that is. Continue working hard. God tells us He blesses the work of our hands. And that small thing, I believe God is going to bless it and multiply it. And He's going to see you through this. And you'll be looking backward and saying, hey, kama si Mungu, si getoboa. So ensure that you engage yourself in something. Don't be idle. Whatever hustle that you get your hands on, do it with your whole heart and remember God. Pray at all times. Maana Mungu hufungua milango in a special way. God bless you.
Can I add one more thing?
yes.
To the boys out there, be your sister's keeper. And do to that that neighbor's daughter what you'd want someone to do to your sister, to your daughter, to your cousin, or to someone else. So please take care, stay safe, treat one another as children of God. Don't overindulge. There is tomorrow.
Wow, that was a powerful one. Makofi. God bless you. Thank you so much. Na Mungu aongezee more knowledge to keep sharing with us. I'm sure we're going to do this more often, right? Na Mungu awabariki sana. To the youth, the bottom line was God, 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 God. So take it to God in prayer. To the parents, whatever is discouraging you, whatever is bothering you, take it to God in prayer. Na Mungu awabariki. My name is Wako Wakareidi, and kindly don't forget to subscribe and share it to your friends.